Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is the rerun of the Vic State Crit Champs. The last time there was a crash in this age group. This is Masters 6 and 7, which then delayed the other grades, and unfortunately the rain kicked in, so a lot of the other age groups didn't get to race. So here we are, we're rolling up to the start line, giving the whistle to go ahead, and straight into the action. This is an old friend of mine, Stuart Payne. We used to ride years ago. We used to race in Masters 2 and 3 back in the day, and he's just gone straight off the front. And I've decided to try and catch him, and with the thought, because I know he's a really strong rider, really strong time trialist, and I thought if I can get across to him, maybe we can work together. Um, what I didn't realize is that this guy does way more Ks than me, and he's a lot faster than I am. And I did manage to get across to him, but basically almost emptied the tank there with I had an okay warm up, but probably not one good enough to do this. I suspect he rode to this race from Frankston, so he was definitely warmed up. So here I am. I get around him, get on the front, hitting the watts there. And at this point, I'm thinking, shit, I've made a really bad mistake here. I'm not going to be able to sustain this pace. So anyway, at this point, I keep trying, let him jump on the front again. We've got a reasonable gap, but the group is chasing hard. I was hoping, because we'd gone so early, that there was a possibility that we may be able to sneak away. But given it was only I think a 30-minute race, I don't think the pack was happy with letting us ride away. So you can see there, even just sitting on his wheel, I was pushing over 300 watts. And then to get on the front again, and I'm thinking, oh my god, I'm going to vomit. If we come around this corner here. Now, actually, I didn't use the Insta360 in this race. I've got just a GoPro on there. I thought, because it was a major event, I thought I'd try and minimise the weight and go for the smaller camera. So you can see there, I've gone across. Stuart's come around me again, and I'm sitting behind him. I'm doing almost 400 watts to hold his wheel. So absolute powerhouse. So I think now we're on the second lap, and I look back, I could see the group coming around the corner. I was in a lot of pain, and I thought, I don't think there's any point trying to keep this going at this point. And to be honest, I just couldn't go anymore. I needed to back off for a little while. So I was happy to see the pack come by, and I just let a few riders go through and try and find a spot where I can recover a little bit. But as you can see, even there, I'm holding 400 watts, not really recovering. At this point, I'm starting to get worried that these guys are going to get across to Stuart, and they are going to form a breakaway, and I'm going to miss out. So as tight as I was, I tried to hang on. And you can see there, that's one of Stuart's teammates. Is it Michael Miller? I think it is. Yeah, so anyway, again, look at the power I'm having to put out here just to get across after all that, those first few laps. This was absolute pain at this point. Heart rate's almost at threshold there. Slowly we come together, but you can see it's still like it's way strung out. So the pace hasn't really settled down. We're doing 40 k's an hour, coming around that bend there. Definitely a tough race. You think you're turning up to a Masters 6 and 7 race, and you think this is just going to be a dawdle around and then full gas on the last lap. But that was definitely not the case in this race. No one here was sitting back and having an easy day. Well, we might skip forward a little bit, and we'll check out a bit more of the action further into the race. Okay, so while there's a little bit of a lull in the racing, let's just have a quick look at the stats for this race. So average power was 234, Max power 978. That's without a finishing sprint, so that's probably just, accelerating, attacking, or trying to bridge across. Um, Max average 20-minute power 237. Um, so yeah, that's sort of, normalized power 270. That's sort of getting up there to a, for me anyway. That shows it was a pretty tough race. Training effect was anaerobic capacity, average heart rate 163 with a max of 180. So definitely not a cruisy day by any means. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see some power data from some of the other riders. Um, I weighed about, I think about 72 kilos on that day. Um, so yeah, what's that? Hang on. So that's just under like 3.5 watts per kilo for the whole crit. So that's roughly what you needed to get by. I mean, it doesn't really tell you the whole story because of all the peaks, the accelerations. As you can see on my power meter on the day, there were several occasions where we were sort of in the 400 to 600 watts for a few seconds. That was just to hold the accelerations through the corners. Yeah, so interesting. All right, let's see what else happens on this race. Okay, so we've just been through a little bit of a lull in the pack. But slowly the pace is coming back on. Also, I just wanted to say I haven't really put as many videos up lately. I do have another one that I've recorded from an Eastern Cycling Club crit, which I haven't edited, and I'm almost wondering now whether it's just too late to do that one. I've been really busy with work, and it's just some days it's really hard. Like, especially you get back from a race, you've got that video sitting there. There are a few steps before I can even get it to the stage where I can edit it. So I normally need to add the power data, so that goes through another piece of software. And then I got to sit through and have a little bit of a think about what I'm going to use and the rest of it. Anyway, yeah, there are some days after a race, especially where the last thing you want to do is pull out that camera, plug it in, and start watching the video. I'm normally pretty exhausted, and on top of that, I've been working a fair bit lately, and also trying to cram in some training. So I just haven't really found the time. I forced myself to do it today because the time that I'm editing this is almost a week after this event. It's the Saturday the 14th. This race was on the 8th of Feb. And I just forced myself to do it because I thought I'm going to race tomorrow and I don't want another race video done and this one still hasn't been edited. So I pulled my finger out and got out there and got this one edited. So, well, actually, as I speak right now, it's not finished. We're halfway through it. But anyway, okay, as you see, the pace has sort of settled a little bit for now. Heart rate's sort of sitting sort of top end of zone 3, zone 4 almost. So yeah, I'm sort of sitting back here hoping that there are not any attacks for a little bit longer, just so I can recover a bit more. Awesome day for it too. It did look like the weather forecast leading up to it did look like it was going to rain. I think it did rain later in that afternoon, but earlier in the week it looked like there were going to be storms and stuff in the morning, just like the previous attempt to run this event. And I thought, oh, here we go again. It's going to get cancelled again. But luckily, as you can see, there are some clouds in the sky, but it was an okay morning. wasn't cold or anything. Yeah, it was actually a nice morning for a crit. Hope pack's sort of moving along there, 45, 46 k's an hour as we come around this bend. But definitely not as fast as it was earlier. I think everyone felt that beginning of that race. That was pretty tough. The race before this one was actually on a hot night. I was on a Tuesday at Metech, and I was really struggling with my heart rate. It was just through the roof. I don't know if it was the heat, also maybe racing after work. Sort of had a long day at work and then went straight down to the circuit and race. But I guess everyone, and I've done that before, everyone was doing that. I guess most people would be at work. It's not like I have a hugely active job, sitting at a desk all day on that Tuesday. But yeah, I just found it was heart rate was just really high for the power I was putting out. So I'm not sure. I wasn't dehydrated, but I was feeling the heat that day. Normally I love the heat, which is weird because I've actually been feeling the heat a bit more this summer. Not sure why. I normally react to the cold more than the heat, but yeah, not sure what's going on. Anyway, so still nothing too much happening. Pack's pretty settled at the moment, which normally means just one thing, that soon someone is going to have a crack. So I was trying to sort of stay, sort of towards that first quarter of the bunch, especially when it's like this, because there's going to be something and you want to be in a position where you can follow. If there is a breakaway attempt and you see that there are riders in there that might stay away, you want to be in a position where you can quickly get across to them. Okay, so here we go. Looks like the pace is on again. I'll get behind. I can't see that number because of the glare. 202. Is that 202? Who was that? Yeah, I can't actually see that number on the start list. I'm just looking at the start list at the moment to see who that is. Yeah, not sure why he's not on there. Okay, interesting. Okay, looks like it's my turn to reel in the solo rider up the front. Oh, is he a solo rider? I can't remember now. Sorry, I wasn't watching the screen for a bit. No, there's actually a few riders out there. Yeah, okay. This may even be the little break that stuck. At the moment, I'm just looking for a wheel to get on. I was a little bit cooked. You can see my heart rate's at 175. And it got up there pretty quickly. Just before all this happened, I was sort of in the low 150s. So struggling here. Trying to find a wheel to get on. I definitely felt that I definitely wasn't the one of the stronger riders in this bunch. I did feel I had to fight pretty hard. As I was saying earlier, I hadn't been editing videos. I've been working a lot. Also, haven't been able to put the amount of Ks on the bike that I would have liked leading up to this. I was probably more active and closer to the front on the original date that this event was on. I was in a really good position leading into the last lap on that last race. But I found in this race, I was a little bit off the pace. I must admit I was struggling. And as I say, the week before I had that day where my heart rate was through the roof, and I was a bit worried that something wasn't right. But I can't say I felt too bad during this race. I think it was more that my fitness level wasn't quite where it needed to be. These guys were a fair bit stronger than me. I felt like a lot of the times I was really, fighting to stay in the pack. Whereas the first race that I was in, I felt more comfortable and felt like I had more control over the race. Actually, I should have looked up the stats from the last one to compare power and stuff. I wonder whether this one was actually faster. Alright, looks like it's bunching up again. Let's skip ahead and maybe see if we can find. There was this race. There was a breakaway that lasted pretty much to the end. So we might see if we can skip ahead, see where that was, and we'll pick it up there. Okay. Okay, so we're just over the halfway mark in the race now, and the pack is all together, but not for long. There you go, one of the riders there just had a look at his watch, probably thinking, when is this bloody thing going to be over? For a half an hour race, it definitely felt like an eternity because it was so fast and relentless. There just wasn't a moment and where you could just relax. And here we go. We're off again. So there's a few riders up the road, and now the group is starting that chase. So it was nice for a while, but not anymore. I have been caught out here a little bit. I am quite far back. So it looks like there's probably a little bit of reluctance at the front to commit to chasing those guys down. Now, I'm not sure if this was the break that actually did stick. I can't see who was in it. And to be honest, even during the race, I couldn't see who was in it. They were too far ahead. I actually missed them when they did go. But it'll be the guys that sort of came in that top sort of five, I guess. So I think the guys who finished on the podium were Harry Hanley, Darren Spiteri, Damien Burke, Joe Spano, Stephen Drake, and I think Clark Livingston would have been the other. So it was actually a mixture of Masters 6 and 7. So Masters 7 riders definitely weren't they weren't slower than the Master 6. I mean, it's only a few years difference, but they were showing the guys who podiumed in Master 7s are names that you normally see up there in A grade Masters. So all very strong riders. Yeah, actually, I think most of the riders in that breakaway were actually Masters 7. Because I think the guy that came second in Masters 6, I was pretty sure there was 4 away. So I think it was Harry Hanley, David Spiteri, Damien Burke, and Joe Spano. And then Stephen Drake from St Kilda, he must have just got across on the final lap. I'm pretty sure. So pace is pretty hot. We're still trying to get across here, a few of us. I was definitely feeling the pace. Heart rate sort of, again, approaching threshold. And yeah, I'm definitely not willing to get on the front of this group. No one's super keen to commit to the chase, which I think is what basically played into their hands. I'm pretty sure that was the group, because there were quite a few white jerseys in that group, and yeah, those guys were all wearing white jerseys. Yeah, so they must have held that pretty much to the end. You see their pace is pretty hot again. A couple of guys on the front doing a fantastic job trying to get across. And yeah, I just wasn't at that level. Like I say, I was just trying to hang on here. And also trying to recover a bit, because I thought if we do get across, I want something in the tank to then try and do something once we get across. That's normally the best time to go if we were to catch that breakaway, to just go straight away if you're fresh enough. That would have been great, but yeah. Yeah, so 2:08 there, that's Clark Livingston. So he was with us, and he did finish on the podium in Master 6. So I'm pretty sure that he would have just caught the break on that last lap. All right, let's skip ahead towards the finish, and let's see what the outcome was. Okay, at this point, there's a few failed attempts to get across. We're getting close to the end. I can see another rider out ahead of me trying to get across. And I'm thinking, this is it. It's now or never. So I dig in here hard. There's a gap opening up behind me. I thought, I'm not really strong enough to get across here on my own, but at this point, it's all I can really do. So I just go as hard as I can. And this is sort of the area of my fitness that's lacking at the moment, these long, sort of hard efforts. But I thought, you know what, I'm just going to do what I can, see if I can get across to these guys, and just put my head down, buried myself, tried to catch that rider in front. You see my heart rate is at threshold, so I'm basically doing a time trial effort here. You could see there was, I didn't see how many laps to go that was, but I think it must have been 2 laps or 3 laps. So again, I'm trying my hardest to get across. Heart rate is redlining. I'm not sure how much longer I can hold this for. There's still a gap behind me. Unfortunately, I don't have the Insta360 that shows that. But I can assure you I was not towing the rest of the pack here. So yeah, just struggling. You can see there my power's starting to fluctuate. I'm pretty much dead at this point. Cannot hold that effort any longer. So I get caught again. At this point, I'm thinking there's no point. I've got nothing left. Even if I jump on the back of this group, I can't do anything. I'm pretty gassed. So that was pretty much the end of my race. That must have been. Pretty sure it was 1 lap to go. So yeah, I didn't even bother trying to stay here with these guys because I was cooked. Oh well, it's probably a bad move. I thought maybe I could get across, but yeah, just don't have the strength at the moment. Yeah, actually, that's we're just being given one lap to go there, so I just pretty much rolled in on that last lap. So a little bit disappointed with that, but yeah, I don't know. I just took a chance. Thought I'd try something different, even though at the moment I'm just not able to do those long sustained efforts. I just haven't been training them. I am starting to incorporate some training into my program to improve that. But yeah, haven't done that just yet. Well, I'm on my way there now. So hopefully I will be able to do something like that shortly. I have been able to do it in the past. Yeah, just sort of neglected that area. Anyway, that was it. So the winners for Masters 6 was Darren Spiteri first, Stephen Drake second, and Clark Livingston. Sorry, actually, yeah, Clark Livingston got third. So Clark Livingston was actually the rider that got across right at the end there. So yeah. Anyway, it's good racing. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'll try and be a bit more proactive with getting my videos up. As me just saying hi to Rob Karoknai. Rob was his sons used to race with my son. He was part of the junior development team squad at Caulfield Carnegie. Always had a lot of respect for Rob, and unfortunately he's not doing too well, as I found out in this conversation. Anyway, that's it for now. I will see you guys at the next crit. Yeah, look forward to catching up with you all soon. Cheers. Bye for now.